The small town of Ravenswood had always been known for its eerie atmosphere and dark past. But for the residents, it was just home. They had grown used to the fog that rolled in every night, and the old, abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town that had been rumored to be haunted for decades. But one night, something changed. A group of teenagers decided to explore the old mansion, thinking it would be a thrilling adventure. They never returned. The town searched for the missing teens, but they were nowhere to be found. Some suspected they had run away, while others whispered about the ghostly inhabitants of the mansion. But as the days passed, the truth began to reveal itself in the form of strange occurrences and unsettling sightings. The fog that had always been present in Ravenswood now seemed to have a life of its own, creeping through the streets and enveloping homes. People reported feeling watched, even followed by unseen eyes. And in the darkness, strange shapes could be seen moving just out of sight. As fear and paranoia spread through the town, strange, grotesque figures began to appear. They seemed to be made of the same fog that now consumed the town, their twisted bodies and haunting eyes striking terror into the hearts of all who saw them. The few brave souls who ventured into the old mansion never returned. Those who did manage to escape spoke of a dark, malevolent force that seemed to be controlling the fog and the twisted creatures it brought forth. The town was in a state of panic, with many choosing to flee in the hopes of escaping the horrors that now plagued Ravenswood. But for those who stayed, the nightmare was just beginning. The fog grew thicker, the creatures more aggressive, and the darkness more complete. Those who were unfortunate enough to be caught outside after sunset never returned. The townspeople soon realized that the mansion was the source of the evil that now consumed their home. They banded together, determined to put an end to the nightmare once and for all. They gathered whatever weapons they could find and made their way to the mansion, their hearts heavy with fear but their resolve strong. As they approached the mansion, the fog seemed to part, revealing the twisted, monstrous creatures that now roamed the grounds. But the townspeople fought bravely, driven by the need to save their home and loved ones. They fought their way through the creatures and into the mansion, where they encountered the source of the evil. A powerful sorcerer who had made a deal with a demon to gain eternal life. But in exchange, he had to sacrifice the souls of the townspeople to the demon. The sorcerer, who had been hiding in the shadows, revealed himself to the townspeople, his twisted face and dark magic striking fear into their hearts. But they fought on, knowing that there was no other choice. The sorcerer proved to be a formidable foe, but the townspeople were determined. They fought with all their might, and in a final, desperate battle, they were able to defeat the sorcerer and banish the demon back to the underworld. The fog lifted, the twisted creatures vanished, and the darkness receded. The townspeople emerged victorious, but at a great cost. Many had lost their lives, and the memory of the nightmare would haunt them forever. But they had saved their home and their loved ones, and that was all that mattered. The old mansion was burned to the ground, and a memorial was built in honor of those who had lost their lives in the battle. The town of Ravenswood would never be the same, but the people would always remember the brave souls who had sacrificed so much to save it. They would never forget the nightmare that had once consumed their home, but they would also never forget the strength and courage that had helped them overcome it. Years passed, and the town began to rebuild. People moved back, and the streets were once again filled with life. But the memories of the horrors that had occurred in the past remained, and the townspeople never forgot the sacrifice made by their ancestors. Even though the fog had lifted and the darkness receded, the town of Ravenswood would forever be known as a place of fear and darkness. But it would also be remembered as a place where the human spirit triumphed over evil, where the bravery of a few saved the many. The end.